All right, so let's bring this up and let's move ourselves over here. Since I had some time,
Sorry, the visual aid is stunning.
Since I had some time, I decided to put the Orton line in a little graphic. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. All right, Josh Allen number 1, Lamar 2, Mahomes 3, Burrow 4. I think that's correct.
Right there, because we felt 4 up to 4.
Yes, that's a tier.
Yes,
that's a pretty good. Those are the top guys. You can reorder them potentially, but I think that's pretty good.
And there's a gap between 4 and 5. Not a gigantic one, but like that's where the top plateau ends.
Yeah.
Then it's Jalen Hurts, who I think is kind of on his own tier by himself here.
Kind of is, yeah.
He's still, Super Bowl winning quarterback, Super Bowl MVP.
I read somewhere that he still hasn't had a 4,000-yard season, which I know is like that's impressive, but like I thought he would have had one by now.
Yeah. He doesn't throw it a lot though.
They run the ball a lot.
Yeah. Which is
they
fine.
Run it a lot.
And Jalen Hurts is one of those guys that like you're not super confident about putting him at 5, but he did just win the Super Bowl, and that's got to count for something.
Right.
He's played in 2 and won 1. That's got to mean something.
Yeah, I think this is a good call.
Top 5 is excellent.
I think it's a good call. Jaden Daniels is 6. Now, this is kind of like the trade value column that Bill Simmons just did, right? Like, he's probably not 6, but his value is 6 because he's a rookie, right? Is that, he's got the potential. You'd rather have him as a brand new player than Baker Mayfield, even though they're probably reversed.
Right.
Okay. Makes sense to me. No, is Jordan Love in the tier with him? What's that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Love is still dangerous when he's healthy. The only thing that discounted him this year was he missed a bunch of games.
Yep.
Right. Number 8, CJ Stroud.
Take that up with Mark. I had Purdy at 8. Take that up with Mark and take that up with
so let's just get that out real quick. So it's Stroud at 8.
I had Purdy at 8, and I got outvoted.
Baker Mayfield at 9, Brock Purdy at 10. All right, Mike.
I'm still slightly confused how you have Jordan Love ahead of him when Brock Purdy has smoked his ass every time he's played him. Every goddamn time I have absolutely mushroom slapped the Packers.
If you were the Niners and you needed one game and you could have Purdy or Love, you would take Purdy over Love from a pure quarterback standpoint, irrelevant of every respective
I would take
the factor of the team.
At this point, I would certainly not take Purdy over probably at minimum the top 5. I think Hurts is dangerous enough and has enough thing around him where, like, right now where he is matters. I think we are incredibly high on Jaden Daniels because this is an incredibly small
sample. Get the fuck out. You would not take Brock Purdy over Jaden Daniels.
Well, let's see. Brock Purdy, despite playing an absolute toilet of a year with everyone injured around him, still threw for 300 more yards and only 3 more picks.
Jaden Daniels in his first year with a team that was owned by a racist and a rebuilt roster with a defense approximately 375 years old went to the NFC Championship game.
Yes, and he also gets to play the Giants twice.
By the way,
and the Cowboys twice.
Big deal. You played the Cardinals twice and the Seahawks twice.
And we lost.
You lost to the Seahawks.
Your argument is not with me. I had Purdy at 8.
Wow. Mark, you have said nothing.
Listen, here's what I'm going to say about CJ Stroud. I'm not going to disqualify him after one piss poor season. And it was bad. Okay. But going into this year, I thought he was going to light it up. He didn't. I still want to see it. I think 7, 8, 9, and 10, they're all kind of in that another tier by themselves. Purdy did get some points taken away from me because the team did not perform as well as they should have this year.
How could they when they were all legally dead?
I don't disagree with that, but I have to go with what I saw.
And Purdy still had better numbers than him. So CJ Stroud had an entirely healthy team in an absolute dumpster fire of a division. And Purdy still had better stats across the board than him.
Don't say entirely healthy team. All of Houston's wide receivers were hurt.
Oh, fine.
Significantly.
Wow. Significantly more healthy on defense than the Niners were. And he still had better numbers.
So, Mike, you would have Purdy at 6? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. The man's played in the Super Bowl and basically won one if they ever called it offensive holding penalty on the Chiefs. And he probably would have been, and he would have been in the second one in 3 years? He would have been in two Super Bowls in 3 years
if he hadn't gotten injured in the other one.
Broken in half playing Philly in the NFC title game.
I'm hearing a lot of would have been. Not.
Well, if that's your argument, then the potential of Jaden Daniels gets thrown out too.
Went to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and lost horribly. Brock Purdy's been to 2 and won one of them.
Oh boy.
So wins aren't a quarterback stat or something, but yeah, exactly.
And by the way, he's still above Matthew Stafford, who won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a million years ago.
Wasn't that long ago.
Is this where we bid you adieu, Mike, Mr. Mike?
Yes, I need to go to sleep. I feel sick.
Right. Go ahead.
Feel better, sir.
More so now that I've read this terrible line. Mark, I know where you live.
Yep. Fair enough.
Goodbye, sir.
Josh Allen. Him getting married won't have any negative effects this season, Mark. Not at all.
It'll be fine. He'll be a dad soon. Or currently is.
That always goes super well. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, gentlemen, a pleasure as always. Right. Sorry I couldn't hang around longer. I'm hoping to avoid the icy chill of death.
Okay. No worries, we can't lose you. Thank you.
I bid you all a somewhat fond adieu.
Somewhat. We still have the Orton line to answer for.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens next year. Gentlemen.
All right. Goodbye, sir.
All
right. Wow.
We're all in agreement. Purdy's not that good, right?
He's not 6. Come on.
He is going to re-listen to this,
Yeah, I know he is. He's not 6.
I still think if you rolled into the 49ers office right now and you're like, you could have Brock Purdy or Jaden Daniels, they would take Jaden Daniels.
And listen, I would point out, I moved Purdy up. I had him 12 in fall, so he has
moved up. He's moved up even in a down year. He moved up. Right. So this is progress, Mike. All right. Jared Goff is 11. Tua is 12. Stafford is 13.
I want to stop you right there. At Tua, we had a serious discussion as we do every year of whether he would die or not, and how that impacts
his value.
Yeah, it really does.
He's got to move down more, I think. Then, if you're factoring in death, he needs to be at least 14, maybe.
Man, he's tough.
That's high. I mean, he didn't do very much this season. That's a high number for Tua.
When he was in, he was great. He missed so much of the season. So
listen, and look at the 3 guys below him. Tua's ceiling is still higher than all 3 of those guys.
Right, correct.
Justin Herbert? It's higher than Justin Herbert?
I've seen enough of him. I know what he is.
And by the way, credit Baker Mayfield, who not only in 2 years has played himself back above the line, but into the top 10.
Yep.
I do want to go back and do research on that, because how many times has that ever happened before?
Never. He's the only person who has fallen below the line and then played his way back above it, plus or minus some rookies.
Right. And I want to say too, for Justin Herbert, I think he is like a good above. I mean, he's above the line, 100% above the line.
Yeah.
But man, that playoff game, I don't know. Like when the lights are on, the only 2 playoff games he's in, he's really struggled. So
you've seen what he is, man.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to get behind, but we'll see. He's still young.
And then Kyler Murray is above the line. He ends it out there above the line.
He's the guardian.
Yeah, he's the guardian for now.
It's important. That's important.
He's not the Knight of Orton yet. That's still reserved only for Alex Smith. But
right.
All right, that moves us to page 2, which is below the line. Below the line. All right, 16. Now, real quick, you would have prime Kyle Orton take over this person's job. That's the idea behind the Orton line.
Prime Kyle Orton is better than these quarterbacks.
Okay, and here we go. They are 16 Trevor Lawrence, 17 Dak Prescott. Big fall for both of them. Somehow 18 Sam Darnold. This guy should have played himself above the line.
Right. If we had just done this line in week 17, he would have been well above the line.
He would have.
Yes. If Darnold doesn't
one extra game
the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even count that week 18 game because it's like, whatever.
No, they needed that game. They
needed it, but
man, that was enough.
All right, 2 bad games and Darnold's below the line after an amazing season.
And, by the way, pour one out. Dak Prescott below the line for the first time.
Yeah, right. Wasn't he like 4 when we first started the show?
Well, let's not exaggerate, but he was above the line solidly.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence was also above the line for a long time too, and the committee decided they've seen enough.
No,
I think he stinks. I don't like Trevor. I'm pro him below the line. All right, 19. Gino, explain this to me. Gino shit in the kitchen Smith.
So other Greg used the analogy, and by the way, he added the caveat. Remember that we're saying this about him, and we still have him rated as better than a third of the quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
That Geno Smith has sentimental value because he's like an old hound dog. He can still hunt a little bit, but his best days are clearly behind him, and it's okay that sometimes he shits in the kitchen. That's just what dogs do.
Because you love him, and it's like, oh, remember that one time you caught that rabbit, buddy? Like he's just it holds a spot in your heart. So,
but sometimes he's gonna shit in the kitchen because he's just an old hound.
It's gonna happen.
It's okay that he shits in the kitchen.
Right, it's all right, bud.
Oh God, I love it so much.
Yes.
When I first opened this document and I saw that, I'm like, what is this? What does this mean? It could mean many different things. That was not on my bingo card of a dog that it's okay if he shits in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
Better than a third of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Bo Nix up to 20. This guy's moving on up.
He was, rookies do get skewed down on the list other than Jaden Daniels. So this is, I think any rookie that you see in this little stretch is still pretty good.
The rookie tier here.
Yeah.
Because these guys upside still propel them forward.
They're all together. It's Bo Nix.
Good as prime Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams and Drake May all together.
Yep.
In a group. Bryce Young moving up a little bit.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
23rd.
Played well. I had Bryce higher than this, but so it goes.
That second
you
half
had
of the season was good.
Where did you have Bryce?
I had Bryce at like 19 or 20. Don't get too carried away, Ryan.
I'm taking that as a win,
Top
considering. Above the line. Derek Carr, just below him. Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's happening. He's going down.
But he's still ahead of the throwing bulldozer, Anthony Richardson.
Yes, that's true.
I love Anthony Richardson. I want him to start every game.
But not
He's
for
awful.
the Panthers.
Yeah, no, not in a positive way, Drew. In a negative. Like, I'm excited to watch it burn. 25. 26, Poochie.
Listen, Poochie had a good couple. We had him, I think, dead
at
last.
the end of the season.
Yeah.
He was dead last halfway through.
He proved enough.
Jameis Winston.
My God, look who's below him.
Oh, I know. It's horrible.
It's Jameis and his teammate, Russell Wilson.
By the way, Jameis is above Russell Wilson.
Yes, he is.
He is, and we talked about why. I'm just happy he's on. Look at where he is. 29, Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, your boy.
My boy is so high. He's in the top 29. It's not bad. Why is he so much higher than Will Levis?
Because Will Levis is complete and total garbage.
And he's just
Drew
one
Lock
step above.
Into a bad situation. Will Levis is bad. Kirk Cousins not only played badly, he's holding his team hostage, and they are actively trying to replace him where we thought they were.
I was thinking about it. Unless he gets traded, this might be the end of Kirk Cousins for the Orton Line.
I think it is.
It could be. And then somehow Aiden O'Connell is on the list.
He's fucking awful.